With chapter 1000 right around the corner, now is the perfect time to be reading One Piece. But it's not getting any easier to start One Piece. Ask anyone why they haven't started One Piece yet, and odds are they'll say it's just too long. Which, to be fair, is very understandable. Bleach and Naruto both ended around 700 chapters. One Piece is almost 1000 chapters and still has at least 5 years left. As a result, many people decide it's just not worth it to make such a big investment. So, in this discussion, I'm going to explain why you should invest in all 1000 chapters of One Piece for its world building, characters, and exploration of how to live a free life. If you're a new fan, this video will contain minor spoilers. Before I get started, make sure to comment with what you enjoy most about One Piece. I'll pick my favorite and share it as comment of the week in the next video. This week's comment comes from World Champ for giving Vivi her due respect. If you'd like more One Piece and Dr. Stone videos like this one, then make sure to subscribe so you can follow along with each week's video. With that out of the way, let's talk world building. Now, let me be clear. One Piece doesn't have great world building just because there's hundreds of different islands. There are plenty of stories like My Hero Academia and JoJo's Part 4 that take place in one small setting and have great world building. The reason One Piece has great world building is because Oda is constantly adding details to the story. One of the best examples of this comes in the form of the Fishmen. It's only natural that, in a world of pirates and ocean adventures, Oda decided to add fishmen and merfolk. Now, he could have done like Luffy, thrown in some fish sticks with legs, and said boom, there's our fishmen. But nope, Oda decided not to present them as monsters. Instead, the fishmen are initially presented as a humanoid species with superhuman abilities. Because of these abilities, the fishmen decide that they are inherently superior to the humans. Just like that, your sunshiny shonen manga begins exploring the issue of racism. But Oda takes this issue and fleshes it out even further. Later in the story, the main characters arrive at Fishman Island. Here, they learn that the fishmen have long been feared by humans because of their strange abilities. And considering most of the civilized world of One Piece is filled with humans, that means the fishmen are a minority anywhere in the world that isn't Fishman Island. As a result, humans form biases against the fishmen minority out of paranoia, and the fishmen become victims of worldwide prejudice and oppression. And since they're constantly reminded of this, the fishmen come to form their own biases against the humans. Many fishmen tolerate the humans, but assume that all humans are the same and will always be prejudiced against fishmen. Some, like the ones we meet early on, decide that humans deserve to face the same hate and oppression the fishmen have to put up with every day. In the end, readers are faced with a system of oppression in which the human majority fears the fishmen minority out of ignorance, and that minority forms their own biases as a result of a social structure that is inherently oppressive. A sort of cycle of hatred, if you will. In essence, Oda transforms his fish sticks with legs idea into a convincing social structure by taking a simple concept and giving it as many details as he possibly can. Think SpongeBob drawing a circle, just in reverse. And that's just the main story. On top of the main narrative, Oda is always exploring new areas of the world through the use of cover stories. He uses characters we've already met to give readers a look at destinations outside of the main plot. Because of this, Oda is able to flesh out the world by offering information that just wouldn't make sense in the context of the current story. And that's why the world building is so great in One Piece. Because Oda is constantly adding new ideas to the story and fleshing them out with as much detail as he possibly can imagine. Now, with the world building out of the way, let's look at the characters. Part of why the characters are so great is the amount of detail they're given. Just as he does with world building, Oda takes a simple idea for a character and then fleshes it out with as many details as he can come up with. A great example of this early on is Buggy the Clown. And don't judge him by his appearance. Buggy is one of the biggest contenders for King of the Pirates. At least that's what his fan base will say. But let's take a careful look at Buggy's appearance. As his title suggests, Buggy is supposed to be a clown. And if there's anything to know about clowns, it's that they're goofy and that they're tragic. To make him goofy, Oda gives Buggy a design fitting of a classic clown character. Lots of makeup on his face, a striped t-shirt resembling a circus tent, and for the finishing touch, the iconic pair of white gloves that connect him to cartoon legends like Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny. But, of course, we can't forget his nose. And I emphasize his nose because that is in fact Buggy's actual nose. Naturally, Buggy is very self-aware of his nose and goes berserk whenever someone pokes fun at it. Now, when you take all these details and put them together, you get a cartoonish thug who constantly seems to be the butt of everyone's joke. And there's lots of other ways Oda goes about specifically tailoring each character. Some characters have unique laughs, some have quirks that are just plain nonsense, and some have running gags that become so absurd that one can only wonder if they're really supposed to be superpowers. But Oda's attention to detail is just one reason why the characters work so well. The other reason is because, at least with the main crew, Oda manages to create characters that are all vulnerable. Notice how I didn't say relatable. While these characters all feel human, their goals and motivations are far from normal. For example, Sanji, the cook of the group, wants to find All Blue, a legendary body of water where all the world's oceans come together. I don't know about you, but I went to the aquarium once and decided that was all the blue I needed to see. But even if they're not relatable, these characters are still very much human. To illustrate this point, let's take a look at the character Usopp. Usopp wants to become a brave warrior of the sea. Reasonable enough. But you might be wondering, why is this Usopp's goal? Without spoiling too much, this is because all Usopp wants in life is to protect the people he cares about. Usopp wasn't blessed with any special abilities, and he's constantly running away when he finds himself in danger. But that doesn't stop him from protecting his friends and family. For Usopp, his home is all he's ever known. So, Usopp goes out of his way to protect that home and all the people he cares about, especially in the case of Kaya, a girl who's usually stuck away in her house because of her sickness. To care for her, Usopp makes up stories of romance and adventure so that Kaya won't feel so lonely. But as much as he wants to protect his home, Usopp can only do so much. When pirates threaten to destroy everything he loves, Usopp has no choice but to ask the main characters for help. And that's the beauty of Usopp. He wants to protect the people he cares about. At the same time, his lack of abilities means there's only so much he can do on his own. Despite that, Usopp stands up for his friends even though he would normally run away. And that's the beauty of characters in One Piece. On top of fleshing them out with his use of detail, Oda delivers vulnerable characters that make you invest in their personal struggles. Finally, one of the best reasons to read One Piece is its exploration of freedom. This is something that's addressed right away in Chapter 1. In the world of One Piece, pirates set sail to find Gold Roger's treasure and become the Pirate King. The catch, though, is that nobody knows what his treasure, the One Piece, really is. In other words, the idea of what it would mean to be king of the pirates is open to debate. For example, you might say that the One Piece is a pineapple pizza. That's absolutely disgusting, but nobody can tell you you're wrong. And while it's still open for debate, Chapter 1 suggests that the defining trait of pirates is their freedom. In other words, the king of the pirates will be whoever is the most free. Of course, the problem with that line of thinking is that it leads to anarchy, which raises the question, how should one live a free life? The beauty of One Piece is that there's never really one right answer. Since pirates are free to live as they want, they each come to different conclusions as to how one should live a free life. The protagonist, Luffy, takes a simple approach and wants to see the world and everything it has to offer. His right-hand man, Zoro, decides to dedicate his life to becoming the strongest swordsman in the world. Obviously, every pirate has their own philosophy, but since they all have different philosophies, that means those philosophies are bound to clash. As Oda explains in Chapter 30, pirates live by their beliefs and risk their lives to defend them. When Luffy beats another pirate in a fight, he shatters their beliefs at the same time. So, in One Piece, every fight is a conflict of ideas. And each of these conflicts contributes to the broader narrative of freedom. When Luffy fights Buggy, it becomes a struggle to decide what pirates ought to value as treasure. Later on, when Luffy confronts the fishmen, his fight teaches us that people are worth more than the circumstances of their birth. Following the framework in Chapter 1, each adventure offers readers a new discussion regarding freedom and its many issues. And that's why One Piece is worth the 1,000 chapter investment. On top of the great world building and characters, One Piece allows readers the chance to engage in an ongoing conversation on what it means to live a free life. And that's it for this discussion. If you're a new fan, I hope this video helps you make that first step towards Chapter 1000. If you enjoyed this discussion, then make sure to like the video. If you'd like more videos like this one, then make sure to subscribe for weekly One Piece and Dr. Stone videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.